Hello, band team. Today we learning about the birth of Isaac. Let me take these off. Now the Lord was gracious to Sarah as he had said. And the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bare a son to Abraham in his old age. At the very time God has promised him, Abraham gave the name Isaac to the son Sarah bore him. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him, as God commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah said, God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me. And she added, Who have said to Abraham that Sarah will nurse children? You have borne him a son in his old age. God can make anything possible. Whatever he tells you, if he's gonna do it, you better believe it. Hagar and Ishmael sent away. The child grew and was weaned, and on the day Isaac was weaned, Abraham had a great feast. But Sarah saw that the son whom Hagar and Egyptian had borne to Abraham was mocking, and she said to Abraham, Get rid of the servant woman and her son, for the woman's son will never share in the inheritance with my son Isaac. The matter distressed Abraham greatly because it concerned his son. But God said to him, Do not be so distressed about the boy, your servant woman. Listen to whatever Sarah tells you, because it is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned, and I will make the son of the servant into a nation also, because he is your offspring. Early the next morning, Abraham took some food and a skin of water and gave them to Hagar. He sent them on her shoulder and then sent her off with the boy. She went on her way and wandered in the desert. A verse said, When the water in the skin was gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes. Then she went off and sat down about a bow shot away, for she thought, I cannot watch the boy die. As she sat there, she began sobbing. God heard the boy crying. The angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, What is the matter, Hagar? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Lifted the boy up and took him by his hand, for I will make him into a great nation. The God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. God was with the boy as he grew up. He lived in the desert and became an archer. While he was living in the desert of Paran, his mother got a wife for him from Egypt. The treaty of Bersabul. At that time, Amalek and Poglet, the commander of the force, said to Abraham, God is with you in everything you do. Now swear to me before God, that you will not deal falsely with me or my children or my descendants. Show to me in the country thou raised sign as a foreigner, the same kindness I have shown to you. Abraham said, I swear it. Then Abraham complained to Abimelech about a well of water that Abimelech's servant had seized. But Abimelech said, I don't know who has done this. You did not tell me, and I heard about it only today. So Abraham brought sheep and cattle and gave Abimelech and the two men a treaty. Abraham said to pour 7 lambs from the flock. And Abimelech asked Abraham, What is the meaning of those 7 lambs have set apart by themselves? He replied, I accept those 7 lambs from my hand as a witness I dug this well. So the place was called Bersabul, because the 2 men swore an oath there. After the treaty had been made at Bersabul, Amalek and Poglet, the commander of his force, returned to the land of Philistia. None of this is a joke. I just can't say the names right for some of this stuff. So I'll try to get y'all interested. But take all this serious. Abraham planted tamariska tree in Bozrahama, and there he called on the name of the Lord, an eternal God. And Abraham stayed in the land of the Philistine for a long time. Abraham tested. So he's about to get tested in the Bible. Let's get into it. Sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, Abraham, here I am. He replied. Then God said, take your son, your only son whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as burnt offering on a mountain, and I will show you. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and loaded his donkey. He took with him two of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out for a place God has told him about. On the third day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to his servant, stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there. We will worship, and then we will come back to you. Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and placed it on his son Isaac. He himself carried the fire and the knife as the two of them went on together. Isaac spoke up and said to his father, Abraham, Father. Yes, my son, Abraham replied, the fire and wood are here. Isaac said, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham answered, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. And two of them went on together. When they reached the place God has told them about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar, on top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called out to him from heaven, Abraham, Abraham! Here I am, he replied. Do not lay a hand on the boy, he said. Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your own son, your only son. Abraham looked up, and there is a thick. He saw a ram caught by its horns. He went over and took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called that place, the Lord will provide. To this day is said, on the mountain of the Lord he will provide. The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time, and said, I swear by myself, declare the land, that because you have done this, and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you, and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the skies, and as the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and through your offsprings all nations on earth will be blessed, because you have obeyed me. Then Abraham returned to his servant, and they set off together for Bethlehem. Abraham stayed in Bethlehem, their son. Sometime later, Abraham was told, Makai is only a mother. She has borne son to your brother Nor. He was the firstborn, but his brother Kamalai, father Aro, and Kuzu Kauza, Balosa, Jalulup, and Bethlu. Bethlo became the father of Rapaka. Makai born those 8 sons to Abraham brother Nor. His Kabua, whose name was Ramah, also had son Tubal, Gahu, Tasu, and Makkah. The death of Sarah. Sarah lived to 127 years old. She died at Crusade Arbi, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Abraham went to mourn for Sarah and to weep over her. Then Abraham rose from beside his dead wife and spoke to the Hittites. He said, I am a foreigner and stranger among you. Sell me some property for a burial site here, so I could bury my dead. The Hittites replied, Abraham, Sir, listen to us. You are a mighty prince among us. Bury your dead in the choice azure tomb. None of us will refuse his tomb for burying your dead. We will refuse you his tomb for burying your dead. None of us will refuse you the tomb for your burying dead. Then Abraham rose and bowed down before the people of the land. The Hittites, he said to them, if you are willing to let me bury my dead, then listen to me. Intercede with Abraham, son of Zohar, on my behalf, so he will sell me the cave of my Lord, and which belong to him is at the end of his field. Ask him to sell it to me for full price at Beersheba site among you. Abraham Hittites was sitting among his people, and replied, Abraham, in the hearing of all the Hittites who had come to the gate of it, city, no, my Lord, he said, listen to me, I give you the field, and I give you the cave that is in it. I give it to you in the presence of my people. Bury your dead. Again Abraham bowed down before the people of the land, and he said, I pray in their hearing, listen to me. If you willing, I will pay the price of the field. Accept it from me. I can bury my dead there. Abraham answered, Abraham, listen to me. My Lord, the land is worth 400 shekels of silver, but what is that between you and me? Bury your dead. Abraham agreed to every terms and wait for him and the price he had named in hearing of the Hittites, 400 shekels of silver, according to the way current among the merchants. So upper field and muffled near Morva, both the field and the cave in it, and all the trees within the border of the field was deeded to Abraham as his property in the presence of all Hittites who had come to the gate of the city. Afterwards Abraham buried his wife Sarah in the cave in the field of Machpelah, the near Morva, which is at Hebron in the land of Canaan. So the field and the cave in it were deeded to Abraham by the Hittites at the burial site. Share, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out of here. Hello, Bandit Team. We are learning about the death of Abraham. Abraham taken another wife whose name was Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Joksan, Medadan, Medihin, Akabok, Sohel, and Joksan was the father of Ziba and Dedan. The descendant of Dedan were the Eserites, the Lusterites, and the Limonites. The son of Medan were Ephraim, Ephraim, Hankakon, Abadite, and Eldadah. All those were descendants of Keturah. Abraham left everything he owned to Isaac. But while he was still living, he gave gifts to his sons of his concubine and sent them away from his son Isaac to the land of the east. Abraham lived 175 years. Then Abraham breathed his last and died at a good old age, an old man and full of years, and he was gathered to his people. His son Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre, in the field Abraham, son of Zohar, the Hittites, the field Abraham had bought from the Hittites. There Abraham was buried with his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God blessed his son Isaac, who then lived near Beer Lahai. That sounds French. Ishmael's son. This is an account of the family line of Abraham's son Ishmael, who Sarah's servant Hagar the Egyptian bore to him, Abraham. And when I meant France, I meant Cajun France. Those are the names of the sons of Ishmael, listed in the order of their birth. Nebahat, firstborn of Ishmael, Kedar, Adabel, Mibzan, Mizraim, and Dobah, and Massa, and Hadada, and Tamada, and Jedadah, and Naphasis, and Kedemah. Those were the sons of Ishmael, and those are the names of 12 tribal rulers, according to their settlement and camp. Ishmael lived 137 years. He breathed his last and died. He was gathered to his people. His descendants settled in the area from Havilah to Shur, near the eastern border of Egypt. As you go towards Ashur, they live in a hostility towards all the tribes related to them. Man, saying these names take your breath away. I want y'all to try. Jacob, Israel, And this is the account of family line of Abraham's son, Isaac. Abraham became the father of Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, daughter of Bethlehem, and Amorim from Padan Aram, and sister of Laban and Aram. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife, because she was childless. The Lord answered his prayer, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant, and the baby Joshua. So Joshua gathered from what I read, that mean like fighting each other when in her, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" So she went to inquire of the Lord. The Lord said to her, Two nations are in your womb, and two people from when you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the other will survive the younger. When the time came from her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first to come out was red. So that's the first ever color man mentioned in the Bible, is a red man. Kinda cool, huh? And his whole body was like a hairy garment. So he must have been hairy. So they named him Ishahak after this. His brother came out when with his hand grasping Ishahak's heel, so he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter and a man of open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Once when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country, famished. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished." That is why he was also called Edom. Jacob replied, "First sell me your birthright." "Look, I am about to die." Esau said, "What going in the birthright to me? What good is the birthright to me?" But Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some little stew. He ate and drank, and then got up and left. Esau despised his birthright. Thank you for watching. Like, sub, share, and I'm out of here. So this is a story about Isaac. When Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he called for Esau. His older son said to him, "My son, here I am," he answered. Isaac said, "I'm now an old man, don't know the day of my death. Now, then get your equipment, your quiver and bow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare for the kind of tasty food I like, and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessing before I die." Now, Rebekah was listening as Isaac spoke to his son, Esau. When Esau left for the open country to hunt game and bring it back, Rebekah said to her son, Jacob, "Look, I overheard your father say to your brother Esau, 'Bring me some game and prepare for me some tasty food to eat, so that I may give your blessing in the presence of the Lord before I die.' Now, my son, listen carefully and do what I tell you. Go out to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats, so I can prepare some tasty food for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, so that he may give you his blessing and before he died." Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, "But my brother Esau is a hairy man, while I have some smooth skin. What if my brother touched me? What if my father touched me?" So right there, like, you got hair, I have hair on my face. So he got hair all over. And to be able to touch he had to feel his hands or somewhere on his arm. So that's what it means right there. I would appear to be tricking him and would bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing. His mother said to him, "My son, let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say. Go and get them for me." So she's talking about the food what he's supposed to bring to his father. So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and she prepared some tasty food just the way his father liked it. Then Rebekah took the best clothes of Esau, her older son, what she had in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. He also covered his hands and the smooth part of his neck with the goat skin. So the goat skin to put around his neck and stuff is to make it feel like hair. Then she handed to her son Jacob the tasty food and the bread she had made. He went to his father and said, "My father." "Yes, my son," he answered. "Who is it?" He asking that because he's blind. Just to remind you, Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat some of my game, so that you may give me your blessing." Isaac asked his son, "How did you find it so quickly, my son?" "The Lord your God gave me success," he replied. Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Come near so I can touch you, my son, to know whether you really are my son Esau or not." Jacob went close to his father Isaac, who touched him and said, "The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau." He did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy like those of his brother Esau. So he proceeded to bless him. "Are you really my son Esau?" he asked. "I am," he replied. Then he said, "My son, bring me some of your game to eat, and remove your tail out of the way, so that I may give you your blessing." Jacob brought it to him, and he ate, and he brought some juice and drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come here, my son, kiss me." So back then, whenever they kissed someone, it was a sign of respect. So, you know, like in the movie where they go, "Mwah, mwah." It's kind of like that. So he went to him and kissed him. When Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he blessed him and said, "Oh, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give your ham and dew, and earth righteousness, and an abundance of grain and new wine. May nations serve you, and people bow down to you. Be Lord over your brother, and may the sons of your mother bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed." After Isaac finished blessing him, and Jacob had scarcely left his father present, his brother Esau coming from hunting, he too prepared some tasty food and brought it to his father. Then he said to him, "My father, please sit up and eat some of my game, so that you may give me your blessing." His father Isaac asked him, "Who are you?" "I am your son," he answered, "your firstborn Esau." Isaac trembled violently, and so he sick really, really bad. Like, you ever get a cold chill down your spine or something like that? That's kind of like how it feels. "Who was it then that hunt game and brought it to me? I ate it just before you came, and I blessed him, and indeed he will be blessed." When Esau heard his father's words, he burst out with a loud, bitter cry and said to his father, "Bless me too, my father." But he said, "Your brother came deceitfully and took your blessing." Esau said, "I isn't his rightly named Jacob. This is the second time he has taken advantage of me. He took my birthright, and now he taken my blessing." Then he asked, "Haven't you reserved your blessing for me?" Isaac answered, "Esau, I have made him lord over you, and have made all his relatives his servants, and I have sustained him with grains and new wine. So what can I possibly do for you, my son?" Isaac said to his father, "Do you have only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, my father." Then Isaac wept aloud, so he cried. His father Isaac answered him, "Your dwelling will be away from the earth, righteousness, away from the dew of heaven above. You will live by the sword, and you will serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you will draw his yoke from off your neck." Esau held a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. He said to himself, "The day of mourning my father or near, I will do something not good to my brother Jacob." When Rebekah was told what her older son had said, she went for her younger Jacob and said to him, "Your brother is planning to avenge himself by doing something not good to you. Now then, my son, do what I say. Flee at once to my brother Laban in her room. Stay with him for a while until your brother's fury subsides. When your brother is no longer..." Man, I have to catch my breath. "Angry with you and forget what you did to him. I sent word for you to come back from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day?" Then Rebekah said to Isaac, "I'm disgusted with living because of those Hittite women. If Jacob take a wife from among the women of this land, Hittite women like those, my life will not be worth living." So Isaac called for Jacob and blessed him, and then he commanded him, "Do not marry a Canaanite woman. Go at once to Paddan, to the house of your mother, father Belial. Take a wife for yourself there from among the daughters of Laban, your mother brother. May God Almighty bless you and make your fruitfulness increase your number until you become a community of people. May he give you your descendants and the blessing given to Abraham, so that you may take possession of the land where you now reside as a foreigner. The land God gave to you, Abraham." Then Isaac sent Jacob on his way, and he went to Paddan Aram to Laban, son of Bethuel the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, who was the mother of Jacob and Esau. Now Esau learned that Isaac had blessed Jacob and had sent him to Paddan Aram to take a wife from there. And when he blessed him to command him, "Do not marry a Canaanite woman," and that Jacob had bade his father and mother, and had gone to Paddan Aram. Esau then realized how displeasing the Canaanite women were to his father Isaac, so he went to Ishmael and married Maluf, and the sister of Nebaioth, daughter of Ishmael, son of Abraham, and then sent to the wives he already had. So, I hope you enjoyed the Bible story. Please sub, like, and share, and I'm out of here. Hello, band team. This is another story with Jacob in it. So let's begin. Jacob's flock increased. After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, "Send me on my way so I can go back to my own homeland. Give me my wives and children for whom I have served you, and I will be on my way. You know how much work I've done for you." But Laban said to him, "If I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have learned by Devin that the Lord had blessed me because of you." He added, "Name your ways and I will pay them." Jacob said to him, "You know how I will work for you and how your livestock have fared under my care. The little you had before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you, whoever I have been. But now when may I do something for my own household?" "What shall I give you?" he asked. "Don't give me anything," Jacob replied, "but if you will do this one thing for me, I will go on tending your flock and watch over them. Let me go draw your flock today and remove from them every speckled or spotted sheep, every dark colored lamb, every spotted or sparkled goat. They will be my ways, and my honesty will testify for me in the future. Whenever you check on the wages, you have to pay me. Any goat in my possession that is not speckled or spotted, any lamb that is not dark color, will be considered stolen." "Agree," said Laban. "Let it be as you have said." That same day they removed all the male goats that were struck or spotted, and all the speckled or spotted female goats, all that had white on them, and all the dark colored lamb. He placed them in care of his son. Then he put a 3-day journey between himself and Jacob, while Jacob continued to tend the rest of the lamb flock. Jacob, however, took fresh cut branches from poplar, almond, and plane trees and made white stripes on them by peeling bark and exposing the white inner wood of the branches. Then he placed the peeled branches in all the watering drew, so that they would be directly in front of the flock when they come to drink. When the flock were ready for something and came to drink, they bore young that were struck or were spotted. Jacob set apart the young of the flock by themselves, but made the rest face the shriek and dark colored animals that belonged to Laban. Thus he made separate flock for himself, and did not put them with Laban animal. But if the animals were weak, that he would not place them there. So the weak animal went to Laban, and the strong ones to Jacob. In this way the man grew exceedingly prosperous, and came to own large flock, a female and male servant, a camel and donkey. Hope y'all enjoy. Please sub, like, and share, and I'm out of here. Let's learn about Jacob flee from Laban. So let's get started, band team. How y'all doing? Comment. I'm ready for Wednesday. Jacob heard that Laban's son were saying, "Jacob has taken everything our father owned, and has gained all this wealth from what belongs to our father." And Jacob noticed that Laban's attitude towards him was not what it had been. Then the Lord said to Jacob, "Go back to the land of your father and to your relatives. I will be with you." So Jacob sent word to Rachel and Leah to come out to the field where his flock were. He said to them, "I see that your father's attitude towards me is not what I was before. But the God of my father has been with me, and you know what I work for your father with all my strength. Yet your father has cheated me by changing my wealth. My wages 10 times, however, God has not allowed him to harm me. If he said, 'The speckled ones will be your wages,' then all the flock gave birth to speckled young. And if he said, 'The strike ones will be your wages,' then all the flock born strike young. So God has taken away your father's livestock and given them to me. In breeding season, I once had a dream in which I looked up and saw that the male goat with the flock were striped and speckled or spotted. The angel of God said to me in the dream, Jacob, I answered, here I am. And he said, look up and see that all the male goats meaning with the flock are striped and speckled or spotted, for I have seen all the Laban has been doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar and where you made a vow to me. Now leave this land and once go back to your native land. Then Rachel and Leah replied, do we still have any share in the inheritance of our father's estate? Does he not regard us as foreigners? Not only he sold us, but he has used up what was paid for us. Surely all the wealth that God took away from our father belonged to us and our children, so do whatever God has told you. Then Jacob put his children and his wives on camels, and then he drove all his livestock ahead of him, along with all the goods he had accumulated in the Padan Aram to go to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. When Laban had gone to share his seat, Rachel stole her father's household gods. Moreover, Jacob deceived Laban in the armory by not telling him he was running away, so he fled with all he had, crossed the Euphrates River, and headed for the hills country of Galilee. Laban pursues Jacob. On the third day, Laban was told that Jacob had fled, taking his relative with him. He pursued Jacob for 7 days and caught up with him in the hill country of Galilee. Then God came to Laban the Amorite in a dream at night and said to him, be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. Jacob had pitched his tent in the hill country of Galilee. When Laban overtook him, and Laban said his relative camp there too, then the Laban said to Jacob, what have you done? You deceive me, and you carry all my daughters like captives in war. Why did you run off secretly and deceive me? Why didn't you tell me so I could send you away with joy? Singing to music of tambourine and harps, you didn't even let me kiss my grandchildren and my daughters goodbye. You have done the foolish thing. I have the power to harm you, but last night the God of your father said to me, be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. Now you have gone off because you launched to return to your bad. Now you have gone off. Okay. Let's do this line again. Now you have gone off because you launched to return to your father's household, but why did he steal my goods? Jacob answered Laban, I was afraid because I thought you would take your daughters away from me by force. But if you find anyone who has your gods, that person shall not live in the presence of our relatives. See for yourself whether there is anything of yours or here with me. If so, take it. Now Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen the gods. So Laban went into Jacob's tent, into Leah's tent, into the tent of the two female servants, but he found nothing. After he came out of the lane tent, he entered Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the household gods, put them inside her camel saddle, and was sitting on them. Laban searched through everything in the tent, but found none. Rachel said to her father, don't be angry, my lord, that I cannot stand up in your presence. So he searched, but could not find the household gods. Jacob was angry and took Laban to task. What is my crime? He asked. Laban, how have I wronged you that you hunt me down, now that you have searched through all my goods? What have you found that belonged to your household? Put in here in front of your relatives and mine, and let them judge between two of us. This is a lot of reading. I hope y'all enjoy. I have been with you for 20 years now. Your sheep and goats have not miscarried, nor have I eaten ram from your flock. I did not bring you animal torn by wild beasts. I bear the loss myself, and you demanded payment for whatever was stolen by day or night. There was my situation. The heat consumed me in the daytime, and the cold at night, and sleep fled from my eyes. It was like this for the 20 years I was in the household. I worked for you 14 years for your $2 and 6 years for your flock, and you changed my wages 10 times. If the gods of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had not been with me, you would surely have sent me away empty-handed. But God has seen my hardship and told my hands. Last night he rebuked you. Laban answered, the women are my daughters, and the children are my children. The flocks are my flocks. All you see is mine. Yet what can I do today about those $2 of mine, or about the children they have borne? Come now, let make a covenant, you and I. Let it serve as a witness between us. Let us gather some stones. So they took stones and piled them in heap. They ate there by the heap. Laban called it Jegar. Silva and Jacob called it Gula. Laban said, this heap is a witness between you and me, and that is why it was called Gula. It was also called Mizpah, because he said, may the Lord keep watch between you and me when we are away from each other. If you mistreat my daughters, or if you take any wives beside my daughters, even though no one is with you, remember that God is a witness between you and me. Laban also said to Jacob, here is a heap, and here is a pillar I have set up between you and me, and this heap is a witness, and this pillar is a witness, that I will not go past this heap or to your side to harm you, and that you will not go past this heap and pillar to my side to harm me. May the God of Abraham and the God of Noah, the God of their father, judge between us. So Jacob took an oath in the name of the fear of his father Isaac. He offered a sacrifice there in the hill country and invited his relative to a meal. After they had eaten, they spent the night there. Early in the next morning, Laban kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them. Then he left and returned home. I hope y'all enjoy. Like, sub, share, and I'm out of here. Hello, band team. Let's learn about Jacob prepared to meet Esau. So that's the Bible story what we on right now. So let's begin. Jacob also went on his way, and the angel of God met him. When Jacob saw them, he said, this is the camp of God. So he named that place Madahena. Who come up with these names? I know they old, but who come up with them? Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the country of Edom, and instruct them, this is what you are to say to my lord Esau, your servant. Jacob said, I have been staying with Laban and have remained there till now. I have cattle and donkeys, sheep and goat, and male, female servant. Now I am sending this message to my lord, that I may find favor in his eyes. When the messenger returned to Jacob, they said, we went to your brother Esau, and now he is coming to meet you. 400 men are with him. In great fear and distress, Jacob divided the people who were with him into two groups, and the flocks and herds and camels as well. He thought, if Esau comes and attack one group, the group that is left may escape. Then Jacob prayed, O God, O my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Lord, who said to me, go back to your country and your relatives, and I will make you prosper. I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servants. I had only my staff when I crossed this journey, but now I am becoming two camps. Save me, I pray. from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me, and also the mother with their children. But you have said, I will surely make you prosper, and will make your descendants like the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted. He spent night there, and from that he had with him, he selected a gift for his brother Esau, 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes. I don't even know if that's still a word. 20 rams. I don't even know how to explain it. Ewes to you. 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 male bulls, and 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. He put them in the care of his servants. Each herded by himself, and said to his servants, Go ahead of me and keep some space between the herds. He instructed the one in the lead, When my brother Esau meet you and ask you, Who do you belong to, and where you are going, who owns all those animals in front of you, then you are to say, They belong to your servant Jacob. They are gifts sent to my lord Esau. He is coming behind us. He also instructed the second and the third and all the others who follow the herds. You are to say the same thing to Esau when you meet him, and be sure to say, Your servant Jacob is coming behind us. For he thought, I will pacify him with those gifts I am sending it on ahead. Later, when I see him, perhaps he will receive me. So Jacob gifts went on ahead of him, but he himself spent the night in the camps. Jacob wrestles with God. That night Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, his 11 sons. That's a lot of sons, but not. If y'all been keeping up with the Benjamin Franklin series, he got 17. So I guess his father has 17 kids. So I guess that ain't a whole lot. Well, there still is. Only one more cheaper by the dozen. If y'all know that movie, it was a joke. And crossed the ford of the Jabbok. After he had sent them across the streams, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone. A man wrestled with him until daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, Let me go, for it is daybreak. But Jacob replied, I will not let you go unless you bless me. The man asked him, What is your name? Jacob is answered. Then the man said, Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with human and have overcome. Jacob said, Please tell me your name. But he replied, Why do you ask my name? Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared. There we go. I finally said the word spared. The sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, Israelites do not eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was touched near the tendon. Like, comment, subshare, and I'm out of here. Hello, band team. Let's learn about Jacob meets Esau. Jacob looked up, and there was Esau coming with his 400 men. So he divided the children among Rachel and the 2 female servants. He put the female servant and their children in front, Leah and her children's next, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. He himself went on ahead and bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. But Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He drew his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Then Esau looked up and saw the woman and children. Who are those with you? He asked. Jacob answered, They are the children of God. Graciously give me your servant. Then the female servant and their children approached and bowed down. Next, Leah and her children come and bow down. Last of all come Joseph and Rachel, and they too bowed down. Esau asked what the meaning of all those flocks and herds. I meant to find favor in your eyes, my lord, he said. But Esau said, I already have plenty of my brothers. Keep what you have for yourself. No, please, said Jacob, if I have found favor in your eyes, accept this gift from me. For to see your face is like seeing the face of God. Now that you have received me favorably, please accept the presents that we brought to you. For God has been gracious to me and have all I needed, and because Jacob insists, Esau accepted it. Then Esau said, let us be on our way. I accompany you. But Jacob said to him, my lord knows that the children are tender and that I must care for the ewes and cows that are nursing their young. If they are German hard, just one day all the animals will die. So let my lord go ahead of his servant while I move along slowly at the pace of the flock, and here's before me in the pace of the children until I come to my lord and Shur. Esau said, then let me leave some of my men with you. But why do that? Jacob asked. Just let me find favor in your eyes of my lord. So that day Esau started on his way back to Shur. Jacob, however, went to Sukkot, where he built a place for himself and made shelter for his livestock. That is why the place is called Sukkot. After Jacob come from Padan Aram, he arrived safely at the city of Shechem in Canaan and camped within sight of the city. For 100 pieces of silver he bought from the son of Humor, the father of Shechem, and the plot ground where he pitched his tent, and there he set up an altar and called it Elul Israel. Please sub, like, share, and I'm out of here. Hello, Bannon team. Let's learn about Jacob returned to Bethel. Then God said to Jacob, go up to Bethel and settle there, and build an altar there to God, who appeared to you when you were fleeing from your brother Esau. So Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, get rid of the foreign god you have with you, and purify yourself and change your clothes. Then come, let us go up to Bethel, where I will build an altar to God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and who has been there with me. I recommend to get the full experience, because I have to try to keep it somewhat kid friendly. Because of my YouTube channel, I want to let everyone have a full experience, let them have fun. If you want to read the Bible, it's good. There's a Bible thing I use to get all this called Bible Gateway. It's very good. You can read a regular Bible, but I recommend going and read it to get the full experience. So let's continue. Wherever I have gone, so they gave Jacob all the foreign gods they had, and the ring in their ears, and Jacob buried them under the oaks at Shechem. Then they set out, and terror of God fell on the town of around them, so that no one pursued them. Jacob and all the people with him come to Luz, that is Bethel, in the land of Canaan. There he built an altar, and he called the place El Bethel, because it was there that God revealed himself to him when he was fleeing from his brother. Now Deborah rebuked nurse died and was buried under the oak outside Bethel, so it was named Elon Bakatul. After Jacob returned from Padan Aram, God appeared to him again and blessed him, and God said to him, your name is Jacob, but you will no longer be called Jacob. Your name will be Israel. So he named him Israel. And God said to him, I am God Almighty. He be fruitful, increase in numbers. A nation and a community of nations will come from you. Kings will be among your descendants. The land I gave you to Abraham, Isaac, and I also give to you. I will give this land to your descendants after you. Then God went up from him at the place where he had talked with him, and he talked with him. Jacob set up a stone pillar at the place where God has talking with him. He poured out a drink offering on it. He also poured oil on it. Jacob called the place where God has talking with him Bethel. Sub, like, comment, share, and I'm out of here.